TJ, Frank, how's it going? Jody is in the house. Hey, Laura, good morning. Brenda, TJ, good morning to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Everything's going good. Brenda, TJ. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of cloudy. It's bright, but not bright, right? It's light, but cloudy. Here comes Mark.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. You well? Nice and sunny at the moment.
Jack's been a bit feisty overnight and back and forth and around the house, different places, and jumping on this, jumping on that.
I'll settle.
I don't know whether get a canine tranquilizer or what.
No, he's a young dog. He's supposed to act like that.
Hey, what?
He's supposed to act like that. He's still young.
Yeah, but it drives this old man crazy.
Yeah.
I just don't have the same level of patience that he requires. I know. I see you. Everybody can see you. Yes. I still thought maybe again about taking him back to animal control. I might have bit off more than I can chew, but I don't think it's fair to him.
Yeah, that's the trouble in it. Now that he's there and he's got used to you a bit. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should have gone for a slightly older dog. Well, the trouble is, you get an older dog, you're going to end up the same way.
They have all kinds of medical issues. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if I was thinking maybe call the vet and see what they would suggest. Like at 7, 8 o'clock at night, something I could give him to kind of calm his ass down overnight.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know you don't mean to be a pain in the butt, but you're a pain in the butt. Yes, you are. You're my pain in the butt. No, you can't come up here. You can go ahead and stretch all you want, but you can't come up here. You and I'd end up on the floor. You know, like about 2 or 3 in the morning, and all of a sudden he starts barking out the front window at somebody. Somebody might have walked by or he heard something. See, Mia used to bark only on occasion. This guy, his number one vocal cords are big on his agenda.
Mm.
Giggles says give him catnip. I don't know about that. But see, he just when he paws me, he just scratches the hell out of me. And look at this arm here, you know. He doesn't do it on purpose. He just is being a dog.
Yeah, he's just being affectionate.
Yeah. You goofball. Shit. I don't know whether if they have like on Google or something about tablets you can give dogs to calm them down a little bit, or no. Never had that problem. You know, when I was younger, the dogs were a little bit more feisty. And well, the other thing too is that he's cooped up inside here. Now he's not used to being let out, but the snow is everywhere, you know, and he doesn't know that he can't go everywhere. He's always staring out the windows outside. He'd like to go run the streets, I think.
Yeah. I think I'd trust the vet more than Google.
Yeah. Okay, let's get down. Let's get down. Get down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
You know, Paul, is there a dog park that you can take him to?
No, because everything's got 2 feet of snow on it, you know,
Yeah.
and that's gonna change here shortly.
You've reached us during normal business hours.
So you don't like him getting in the snow and getting wet?
Change.
He doesn't like getting in the snow, getting wet.
Oh, okay.
Of operation, our address, or general information, press 2. To schedule an appointment or to speak with a client service representative,
I was gonna say, dog park, go off hours. That way you're not going to be in a busy period. See if you can
Sure.
get him in a dog park by himself and just let him run a little bit. Because if he gets in a dog park and doesn't get along with the other dogs, or something's going on, you'll have to get in there with him, and that might be rough for you to do. But
Yeah,
hey, Mark.
Hey, Don. Yeah, I must admit, we don't have all that much of a problem as regards snow because we don't get a lot.
I don't. That seems kind of strange to me that he does. But he's been in a kennel all his life, and so he probably doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Snow. My dog, he was a lab mix, and he loved. You could let him out. I'd say he liked playing snow for a while, but then he'd be ready to come back inside. But getting out in the snow and running around, it would wear off some of that extra energy. And there were days it was just like, dude, you got to go outside. But also having or finding a dog friend they can wrestle with, and that go along rather than just drug the dog.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you need to drug the dog to make it, you don't want the dog, you want furniture.
Yep. Yeah, I can understand that it's a bit more awkward for Paul to exercise a younger dog because, well, he doesn't get around that easily anyway, but
Right.
especially in this weather.
Right. And that's why I would be concerned about him taking the dog to a dog park where he would have to be, if the dogs got fighting, he would have to get physically involved. And
Yeah.
but a dog park on off hours, first he needs to,
I
think
just talked to the doctor, and they're going to prescribe some medication for him.
I think obedience class is going to do wonders. And then once in obedience class, he learns how to behave, how to listen to you and behave around other dogs, because there'll be other dogs there.
Yeah.
I think a dog park.
Frank says maybe he needs a buddy, but I don't think I could handle two of them.
No, but going to the dog park and having play dates where you take him out and let him play with other dogs.
What I don't know, Don, is how he gets along with other dogs.
That's why I'm saying first the obedience classes.
Yep, that's what
there'll be other dogs there. He'll learn how to.
Obedience classes like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that will let him learn how to
listen
to you.
There. Yeah.
And how to interact with other dogs and what his responsibility, his role is and everything. And he'll look to you for guidance, but then going to a dog park.
Mind you, I think animal control should have actually told you how he reacts with other dogs and what kind of exercise regime they gave it, rather than just hand it over.
Yeah,
My guess it was like prison. You know, they're in their crates all day.
yeah. Well, they're not necessarily in a crate, but they're in an enclosure.
And they're in their enclosure, and then they get taken out and that run, but they get their hour in the sunshine and then back in.
Yep. And they're fed like twice a day, I would imagine. Other than that, I don't think they get any treats or that kind of stuff. Hey, Justin.
I just
Michael, yes, my Archie was a rescue. He was found as a puppy, and we got him from someone else, that a friend of a friend who had found him in a parking lot, and he was just around the age where he was being weaned onto solid food, because when he was sleeping, he would still be trying to nurse in his sleep. So he was a really young puppy when we got him. So he was a rescue, but he was also a puppy. And that's the difference. Get an older dog as a rescue, they've got their own set ways.
yeah, you have to adapt to them rather than
Yep.
them adapt to you.
Now we did get a Basset Hound as he wasn't a rescue, but the owners were bringing him over. They lived next door to us, and we had a fenced in backyard for Archie, and they would bring their dogs over and let them play with Archie during the day, and then take them back over to the little kennel at night or in the evenings. And that Basset Hound would just, he didn't want to leave his friend.
Just kept right on it going, huh?
And so it finally ended up there like, would you guys like him? Because he just he can't stand being away from Archie. And
Yeah.
so we got a Basset Hound. Unfortunately, he fell in when we moved to our new house. We had dog proofed everything, and he fell into the pool and drowned.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrific for me. He was a good dog. I felt really, really bad because that was because I failed him, and I felt really guilty about that for a while.
Jody says to watch Lucky Dog on Saturday mornings and watch how Brandon trains them.
Yeah, there've been quite a few TV programs about dog trainers now.
Yeah, Caesar Milan, was that
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably the most popular one. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Justin?
Well,
I used to hang out with Archie. Would lay in a beanbag. We'd watch Caesar Milan, and I'd sit there and look over at Archie and say, "See, that's how you're supposed to behave." And Archie'd be like, "Yeah, can I have another piece of popcorn?" Be like, "All right, that's cool."
Yeah. Mm.
TJ says I should have gotten a Basset Hound.
I was talking to my wife last night about this. I'm like, if he would have gotten a hound of some sort, like a Basset or one of those, probably not a Beagle, but a Basset mix might have been more,
Docile.
yeah,
Well,
a
I
little
could
bit more
always
easy to manage.
I could call animal control and ask them if they have an older Basset Hound there.
Yeah,
But
But
I
then-
just don't know how he would act with two of them. Would I have two of them running around here in the house,
yeah. Oh, yeah. If you got a second dog, yeah, and you don't want to take Jack back. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, Jack, we call him Blackjack because he's a black dog.
Yeah, you don't want to take Blackjack back.
Well, I don't think it's fair to Jack, you know?
No.
No, though I should imagine they do get quite a few returns.
Yeah, I know, and that's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, most pounds actually have return policies, especially for like medical stuff too. Like ours give you up to a month if you have any if they have any serious medical issues or anything.
Yeah.
And it seems to be it's going to be like a money pit type thing. They'll actually take them back, or you also get free vet visits for up to a month if there is
Well,
any issues.
yeah, and you feel guilty because you put yourself in the mind of the dog and you personify the way you would feel, but he doesn't understand that he's been adopted. He might just consider this a vacation. You know what? That was nice. I had a nice little vacation.
Mm.
I met a really interesting guy.
Yeah, they can do that here as well. They a lot of the dogs' homes and things like that. They have adopted foster parents where they
Yeah,
look after them until somebody adopts it permanently.
there's some places here that do that too.
I don't know how people do that, especially with kids, man. I see.
You know,
I didn't get. If I adopted a kid and they were like a really good kid, I'd end up getting attached to them. I don't know if I could do that.
well, yeah.
Mhm.
We had my brother-in-law and sister-in-law fostered and then eventually adopted a couple kids, and then things didn't work out. The kids were older, and
There he is in my chair.
That's his chair now.
and they had been on their own enough off and on that they didn't think they needed supervision, and they resented that. They resented any rules.
Yeah, it's going on that chair because it can smell you on that chair. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It comes.
Yeah, and he's bored. He just wants to go out, and he just there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
Oh, there's nothing to do.
I know it.
Well, if it's nice out, let him sit out in the yard for a while.
There's snow, and he doesn't like the snow.
It's
Also.
all snowy and he gets cold really easy. His
Uh,
his skin is paper thin and
There's a heat wave coming in
It's-
next week. He'll be able to get
you can
outside.
see the rib on his back but he's also hyper, you know.
He might just have cabin fever, but we got a heat wave coming across the U.S. next week, so
Yeah.
you should be up in the 50s and 60s then. That'd be warm enough for him to go hang outside for a couple hours.
Hey, Paul, how long do you leave him out for?
Oh, not long because he goes out, goes around and does his business.
And he
real
sits by the
fast.
door and acts like he's
Oh,
being
and then
mistreated?
he comes on a dead run towards the back door. And if I'm not there to open the door when he's on a dead run, jumping up in there, he crashes into the door.
That's probably just because he's cold, but once it warms up outside, he'll probably want to stay out there for a while.
Well, it's probably
And
because he's
if
not used
anything-
to being outside either.
Well, if anything, too, Paul, when it warms up, you should just force him to stay outside for a while and get some. You know,
Yeah.
even if he's trying to come in, just don't let him in. Let him stay
I would
outside
almost
for a
do
while.
that now.
What I used to do with Mia is I have one of those magnetic doors on the back door that's screened. It's
Yeah, she could just
magnet
come
all
in.
the way down. And she used to just come in and go out, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, when you say he's not out there long, half hour or less, like 2 minutes,
Oh, no, minutes.
he can handle cold for longer than that.
Well, the thing of it is I see him walk along the back fence,
Mhm.
and it's like up to here on him,
Yeah,
and so then he goes around the other side of the garage, and I think that's where he's pooping, and Then the next thing I know, it comes around the garage here, right up into the house.
It's probably more company. When it gets warmer and you can sit outside on your porch, then he will probably be more comfortable being
Well,
outside.
Yeah, I wonder too, the same thing, Mark, is maybe he just is afraid I'm gonna leave him like everybody else does, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying is when it warms up, even if you're not out there, just make him stay out there for an hour or so until he gets, and eventually he'll get used to that.
I would even do that now. I'd put him out for 15 minutes. I mean, 15 minutes in the snow. He might run to the back door and sit there like, come on, open the door. But
Yeah, just
hey,
get him used to being out there, and then eventually he'll be out there running around. When it warms up, you can throw a couple toys out there for him.
yeah, do you
Yeah.
have a ball cannon or anything?
No,
Or they make those little flingers that you put the ball in and fling. Actually, your yard's small enough that you can probably just pitch the
just
tennis
hand
ball,
throw
huh?
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's what I don't know.
You get one of those ball flingers and end up 3 yards down.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And if he had access into the schoolyard, which is behind the house, because there's some people take their dogs out there with those ball flingers, and they got them off the leash.
Yeah,
And I don't know if he's a runner or not, you know?
right.
Yeah, well, you don't want to test that theory though either.
That's one thing. Basset hounds are runners. Well, they just get a sniff in their head and they'll just go. My parents had a
Following, huh?
Siberian Husky. Siberian Huskies are runners. They just want to go and they just don't have a thought in their head about following any smell. They're just running to run.
Yeah.
Archie, he at the old house, he started to go out in the street one time and I went to catch him and it scared him. Because this was when he was a little tiny puppy. And it scared him real bad when he started to go out in the street when he was a puppy, that until the day he died, if he got a little too far, all I'd have to do is whistle and he'd come running right back to my side.
Mhm. Yeah.
Occasionally I'd have to raise my voice, Archie, and he'd come running.
Yeah.
But he knew that he had a distance that he would get, and if I whistled or said his name, he'd bring that perimeter back down in and stay within that. And he was a good dog. He was the best dog.
Yeah. When we got Precious, I used to walk her through a park onto the canal and then along the canal and back round. Never let her off the lead until quite a while later when she was more used to us, and if she did run, we'd let her off in the park and she'd run off across the football pitches and things like that, but she would always come back because
Yeah.
she knew where we were.
Well, I'm hoping that this training session, it's 6 weeks, once a week, will make a difference in him.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I'm interested in seeing how he starts reacting with other dogs.
Yep.
And if he reacts well, then I think dog park will do wonders for burning off extra energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got him in a training thing or something?
Yeah, I found a local place that once a week they meet at 6:30 on Wednesdays, and for 6 weeks, and they're gonna it's a dog training. It lasts an hour and a half, and the whole total price is $140 for the 6 weeks.
Well, that's not too bad, I suppose.
What do they do the training with you and the dog, or they
Yes,
just train
yeah.
the dog?
Yep, the dog
Yeah,
and the owner.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste of time training
Yeah.
the dog out the old.
That's the only way it works. I think probably $20 to $30 is for training the dog, and the rest of it's for training the owner.
Yeah. Oh, they need to charge a lot more for training, Paul.
They do. Bo, he'll take off running if he gets out.
Willie?
Tyson doesn't though. He'll stay right next to me. And if he tries to run and I call him, he'll turn around.
Well, I would
He'll
think
stop in
Tyson
his
would be
tracks.
the runner because you got him when he was on the run, right?
No, he doesn't run. If he tries to take off, I'll yell for him and he'll stop in his tracks, turn around, and come right back to me.
Yeah, but I mean, you found him on the street, so he was used to living on his own.
I don't think he was that old though. He wasn't fixed, he wasn't chipped or anything. And if you look at his pictures from 2 years ago to now, you can see the baby face in his.
Okay.
So I don't think he was that old. I think he was only a little over, around a year, maybe less than that. No, if I take him out, I'll take him out front, and if he goes on a car ride with me, he'll follow me out to the car and jump right up in the car. I don't have to put a leash on him. Bo, though, he'll take off running if he gets out. The only way to get him back is you have to pull up in the car and open the door, and he'll want to go for a ride. We've had to chase him a couple times through the neighborhood.
Yeah, if Precious gets out the front door and into the street, she wanders off, and she doesn't take any notice of you calling her back. You have to go.
Yeah, that was before we had the yard fenced in because he figured out how to get out of his harness. I tried like 5 different harnesses on that dog, and he figured out how to get out of every one of them. So
Yeah,
you can't even really walk Bo without him trying to get out.
I mean, fortunately, my back garden is huge, so she can wander around that quite a lot.
Yeah, same with our backyard. I went and bought a bunch of that wire fencing and put up wire fencing in the sections we didn't have a fence because we have 3 walls of fencing from the neighbors' yards that are all connected, but just on the side of our yard, on each side of the house, there isn't any fence. So I went and got a gate and
Yeah, see, he
wire
he
fencing.
comes out to the glass door that goes down the ramp going out the front, and he'll stand there and look at it like out there, wagging his tail like, I'd like to go, I'd like to go, I'd like to know. No, no, you're
But
not.
Bo is a boxer, bull cat, and then Tyson's a Chiweenie. He's a Chihuahua and a Wiener dog mix.
Yeah, I mean, Precious likes wandering. I've got like 6-foot wooden fences all the way around the back garden, and a double barred
Cool,
gate.
cool Cat says that once he gets in used to the 6 weeks of training, that'll give him something to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh, he's talking about when he actually goes to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. No, Precious likes to go and stand by the back gate and bark at everybody that walks past the back.
So anyway, that's
Yeah.
the latest with
You're over there, and I can't fuss you while you're over there.
my new buddy.
Like as far as Bo though, like he'll sit, he'll shake, he'll lay down if you tell him to. Like he listens like that, but if he gets out and he's running, yeah, he won't listen at all.
It's a good
I'll
girl.
yell for him and he'll just take off running.
Girl. Come here. Come here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay. Yeah,
Boxers are much more
yeah, they're very
friendly, bouncy.
they're energetic too.
Boxers are absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he's a good dog though. He's high, he can get very hyper sometimes. But him and Tyson, I'll put them in the backyard and he'll chase Tyson around the yard for about 30 minutes and wear themselves out. Tyson will walk up to him and bite him on the leg, and then he'll start chasing Tyson, and then they'll just go in loops around the yard for like 20, 30 minutes. But they got a pretty big backyard to run in, so they got plenty of room to get exercise. But Kelsey or Aubrey always takes Tyson out for walks out front, though. To put him on the leash and take him for walks. Bo, though, you can't really walk him because he knows how to get out of collars and harnesses. You gotta be careful with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, harness is definitely better because it takes longer for them to get out of that than it does a collar.
And he is a very strong dog, man. Bo is nothing but fucking muscle. That dog will, like Aubrey wouldn't be able to walk him. Kelsey can barely walk him. I have to walk him if we do walk him anywhere because he's
Well, see,
really strong.
that's what my concern is with Jack is that just being on the leash, and I got a big, thick, heavy leash. He just about because I'm an old man and teetering around, and he wants to go, and it's like he almost pulls me forward and over.
Paul, for that, get a pinch collar. It doesn't. And people think they look cruel, but basically it goes on
Yep,
and
and
it
it's
has
got
these little
little barbs
fingers.
on it. Yep.
But the fingers don't do anything until they start pulling the collar, and then they just
They don't like it.
it bends into the neck, and that gets their attention because when they're pulling, they are not thinking. They're just thinking, I need to go. And resistance on the leash, their instinct is to pull and
Okay.
go and pull against that leash because it's just resistance. But the collar actually coming in is a different feel, and it makes them stop. And it's not gonna dig into their throats or anything. Some people think that's going. No, they'll once they get the attention, they'll stop. Archie used to tug so hard he would get himself choked, and he would just be hacking because it was a constant fight. And I put the pinch collar on him, and it took, I think, maybe 2 walks with the pinch collar, and he was leash trained.
Mm. Yeah,
I don't know about those invisible fences, Jody. I've seen a couple of dogs figure out that if they jumped over it quick enough, they could get out of there.
Yeah, it's a moment of pain for a lifetime of freedom.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen my dad put one of those around his property when I was younger, and our dog walked up to it a couple times, got shocked, but then he just ran, boom, right over top of it, and then took off running.
Now we have some dogs next door that they've got a fence, I think, over there because they've got a what is it, Saint Bernard, and Saint Bernard will come walk over to the corner of the house and look over at our yard if I'm outside. Go, oh, but won't go any further because that's where his yard ends.
Oh, those dogs are huge, man.
He'll just go, oh, and I'll just look back at him and go, oh.
Well, see how laid back he is right now? I gave him this morning. I gave him a gabapentin.
Why are you giving him medicine?
And also I gave him a carprofen, which is a pain.
Oh.
So you drugged him.
Yeah.
Why? They have pills to calm dogs down that are specially made.
Well, yeah, I called the vet and they're going to prescribe something for me. They're going to let me know.
Yeah,
they said the gabapentin probably is good, but they didn't know about the dosage because this is 750 milligrams gabapentin. Because I still got all of these,
Yeah, but that's sad. Just keeping them drugged up.
We had to get some of those for our dog when we moved across country because he didn't do car rides very well.
Yeah, for a temporary thing, just for.
Yeah. We just gave them to him until we got to where we were going in California, and then we stopped giving them to him.
I never gave Archie any drugs, but he would get a little freaked out, and the cats do too for some reason, over thunderstorms.
See, Mia never ever, I hear a lot of people, the dogs head under the beds, they go hide or whatever when there's thunderstorms. Mia didn't give a shit. She just laid there and sat there and.
Well, we just got rid of our doorknob that still had teeth marks in it from Archie. And I still, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear thunder, I immediately pop up. I think I got to get Archie inside because if there was a thunderstorm, you had to get him inside. Because I went outside one day, I couldn't find it had stormed in the night and he had been out. I thought, okay, well, I'll go check on him. see if he was okay, and he would just tear things up in his shed, trying to get back behind things and hide from the thunder, I guess. But I couldn't find him, and he had wedged himself underneath the shed and just pushed himself back in. He was stuck. I had to get a shovel out, calling to work. I'm gonna be late. Get the shovel out and dig a hole big enough where I can get down there, get his legs, and drag him out from underneath the shed. And one night, my wife woke me up. She said, Don, somebody's trying to get in the house. And I get up and go over to the stairs, and because she had been downstairs, she came walking back upstairs and the doorknob rattled. And she came running upstairs and got me, woke me up. I'm like, great, now I get killed. But I was like, is the porch light on? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay. So I go over to the window that looks towards the front door, and right before I got to the window, I hear thunder. I'm like, is Archie in? And that dog had escaped the backyard because it was thundering and nobody was helping him. He had escaped the backyard however he could, went to the front door, and he was chewing on the doorknob because he knew that's how doors open. And we had teeth marks on that doorknob until just a couple months ago when I had to finally replace it.
Like, let me out, huh?
No, let me in.
Let me in.
He
Oh.
knew how doorknobs worked, and he was going to get in, by God. And he knew that's how doors worked. He was a smart dog. I think if I could have explained to him how to rob a bank, he would have done that for me.
I gotta jump off. I'll catch y'all later.
Okay, all right, buddy.
But yeah, I could see drugs for those types of anxiety issues in those types of situations. But just keeping a dog drugged up, I don't like the sound of that. Yeah, Michael, I'm reading back up through the chats, and yeah, those boxer ears. Archie was a lab boxer mix, and he had those silly boxer ears. But most of the time, he kept them back. But when he popped them up, they would go up and flip over. Yeah.
Well, I just went to Chewy and I typed in calming dogs down.
Mhm.
And I'm going to screen share. They got a whole
I know
bunch
people use CBD oil and stuff like that, and they think that and say that works, but
That's what Joe uses. The gums for dogs.
Yeah.
What are you backing to?
dang it.
For a Conazole here is Flexitine hydrate for dogs. See what it says about it. Help your canine companion cope with separation anxiety by giving him Reconcile tablets. Flavored chewables. Trazodone, I think, is the same thing. What's his Apoquel? I got some of that. Apoquel is an oral tablet that works differently than other allergy medications. Okay, it's for allergy. Well, I'll wait to hear back from the vet. But I am signed up for the training, so.
Today, final round, so many storylines, a lot of potential first-time winners on the PGA Tour. Now coverage of the Cognizant Classic Palm Beaches. It's Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on Golf Channel as the Florida Swing begins. Awesome run.
Yeah, it's just hard. At my age and stage in life, I can't stand to be alone, but yet I miss Mia every day. And now I've got Jack, and Jack he's got his own personality. It isn't like I can duplicate Mia,
No, Jack was never going to be Mia,
Yep.
but he is probably going to be a higher energy dog.
I'm gonna have to let this whole thing play out. Because even this morning I was thinking, God, do I call the animal control and take him back or?
Well, I wish I lived closer. I'd come over and I'd take that boy for walks for you.
Yeah.
But that's I like whenever I got to dog sit Dolly
you
in.
used to like the dog sit?
Uh-huh. Did he get you on the face there?
Yeah. With one of these,
Yeah.
He didn't mean it, but
No, he didn't mean it, but it may be one of those situations you might need to call and just treat this as this was a nice vacation for Jack. Come hang out at your house for a while and he goes back. And you look for a more compatible dog. And they should be able to help you. If you go back, they see on your face and your hand and stuff, they're like, okay, yeah, this dog might be a bit much for you to be able to handle. And work on getting you something. And yeah, that's sad that Jack goes back, but that's where Jack was before. There's a million Jacks out there that you can't. Although now you'll feel kind of responsible, but you're not. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Is the arm new too? I saw the hand the other day. Yeah, he's just tearing up your skin.
well, as you get older, you get that thin skin stuff, you
Right.
know?
And yeah, and it doesn't take much, and then but yeah, that might be, Paul, sad to say, it might be the smartest choice.
It might be too much for me, but I've gotten to know him and I do love him, but
Yeah, but
And I know
know
that
what?
deep down inside he loves me, but he's just so he's not understanding that you can't I can't do what a lot of people used to do, you know?
Right. And it's not like it's a a death sentence. He goes back to where he was. He was there for 4 years, you said?
Yeah, 3 years, I think.
3 years, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I hate treating animals like they're just exchangeable items from a store, but
Well,
it
that's
also
Frank. I'm hoping that he will be a good boy, you know?
it also isn't fair to him.
No, because he's found a home and you
No,
can
it's not
tell
fair to him that
you can tell that he considers this his home.
I think you're reading a lot into that. I think you're putting a lot more into his head from your perspective than his perspective. He's getting used to it, but I guarantee you took him back to his old kennel, he would be like, "Oh, this is home," because he that was what he was used to.
Even though he's got skinny legs, he's got some big ass paws, you know?
Uh-huh.
And he's got those kind of nails that just can just rake you. I don't know. I guess I just got to give it a little bit of time. You know, once I get through the training sessions, maybe I'll know.
Yeah, and it's not really fair to him as a bigger dog and a younger dog, to tell the truth.
Well, yeah, because majority of the people that go out to get a dog out there want a puppy, you know?
Eh, I'm saying it's not fair of him to be at your home where he either has to be drugged up or just he's not getting the exercise that he needs. It just
I hear you.
and yeah, it may not be the greatest situation to take him back to the pound either, but we can't do what's bad for us for the good of a dog. And I know that's everybody loves dogs, and but in the end, there's a lot of dogs and a lot of dogs that need a good home. And there's probably a more compatible dog out there who would love to have a home just as much as Jack. But in the end, it comes down to how you feel.
Oh, if it wasn't for the rambunctious activities, like 1 minute, it's kind of like 1 minute he can be the most calm, and then the next minute it's just like boom, boom, boom.
I just think about it. consider taking him back and seeing if they have a more compatible dog. There's, like I said, a million dogs out there that need a home, that need somebody to love them, and there might be a more compatible dog for you that you would be able to provide a better home for. Because if you're not providing the home that Jack needs, if you aren't able to do that, then yeah, you guys might be able to find a way to kind of fit together. You're going to always be getting, until he gets older, you're going to have several years of this before he gets old enough to slow down.
Yeah.
And for him, now there might be a younger dog there that is a more sedate breed. I would not look at it as a bad thing to take him back, because they're going to do their best to place him with a home. I would
Well,
say,
when I
did they
selected him,
question you about activity whenever you went there?
when I selected him to adopt him, they put the word out, everybody in the place, because they got lots of dogs. They have a binder full of dogs. And
Mhm.
when I says, I kind of like him, and then when I met him, he was, hyper as the first time you meet him.
Right.
And then when I said I'd take him, they put the word out, and everybody says, "Oh, he's taking Jack! Oh, he's taking Jack! Oh, he's taking Jack!"
Yeah, but that means they like him and they
Yeah,
take care of him there. And if you bring him back, say, listen, it's not working out, they'll take him back. They'll find a dog that suits you better, and they're gonna be just as excited to get Jack into a home that fits him.
yeah.
I-
I don't know. I just feel like I've been a dog owner my whole life. I feel like
Mhm.
a failure.
No, it's not about being a failure. It's about finding a dog that fits
Fits into my,
into your personality, into your ability right now. Uh, oh God, I don't know if I'd take those dogs I dog sit or dog sat for. They could wear me out, and having them full time would become a strain.
yeah.
And if you're considering it and concerned, call them. Call the place
Animal
where you got them.
control. Yeah.
Call animal control and say, and tell them
He's a
what you're
wonderful
considering.
dog, but maybe he's too much for me.
Yeah, do that, and then see if they can find you
Or
something that,
see what they say.
yeah, see what they say, and say it's just tell them it's rough. It's just tell them your situation and Jack's situation, and just see what they say about it. Because I don't know if they would give you great advice, but if they if their idea of animal care is just to get them out the door, then they won't. But well, yeah, at least, and he'll always have his best friend with him right there. No matter where he goes, he'll always have his best friend.
Doing Jack. He's looking back at me.
It wasn't abusive about that in any way. It just nestles a couple of feet from the pin. Love it.
Yeah, I think I'll call them and see what they say, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? If he goes back and you find another dog, you can say, "Yeah, remember Jack? He was a great dog. You always have a great memory of the week you spent with Jack." And
Yeah, I need something that's more laid back, you know?
mhm.
Because, you know, and I hate to compare Jack and Mia, but Mia'd get up in the car, sit over in the passenger seat, and just sit there, or climb into the back seat and just sit there. Jack is, when I put him in the car, he's just all over the place. In fact, when I go down and fly, Mia would just sit there and watch me out the window, you know? Jack, as soon as I try to get out of the car, he's pushing on me. Hey, let me out. I want out. I want out. I want out.
Right. Well, and it comes down to Mia and you had grown together,
We'd bonded. Yep.
and well, not just bonded. You guys, you knew her, she knew you, and so you guys have worn down the edges to where I guarantee there were other issues with Mia early on, but maybe not. Maybe she was a perfect dog for you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, you digress.
but I just I hate to see drugs being used as a substitute for uh,
Towards the gallery.
yeah, hold on, I got work to do. Where is everybody today?
Well, everybody's out doing something. I think we can. You want to just shut it down, Don? You got things to do?
Yeah, I just got a message here, so I gotta.
Okay. Mark, take care. We'll see everybody
Oh,
again later. I'll let you guys know the how I do with the with the Jack saga.
Yeah, and like take what I said, just consider it.
Yep.